Hey guys, Tony Sharp here with Sportsman Media. Got Trent Yoder just won this past Saturday at Path Valley. Uh, 7 wins on the season. You are currently the winningest driver in the Super Sportsman division. Now, most times it's probably not a huge feat because we're talking most guys maybe 3 to 5 or so wins, but you got 7 on the season, which is pretty impressive considering the amount of rainouts we've had this year.
Yeah, I know I said in Victory Lane on Saturday that the sport humbles you pretty quickly. So you got to take each one that you can get. You can't take it for granted either. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to have like a breakout year this year. You know, go more than 3 last year. Um, I would have been happy with 5 all year long. But the fact that we're at 7 now and we're just entering August, like we still got what 3 whole months of racing left.
I
Um,
bet.
yeah, it's pretty surreal to be honest with you. So I'd like to maybe add 10 stickers to the tail tank, but we'll see what happens.
Do you have room?
I got enough for 3 more, I think.
So let's talk about Saturday, and we'll BS about some other stuff then. Uh, had 16 cars Saturday. Sound like you had to work for that one a little bit. I read a little bit down through the write up from Saturday. I don't remember all what I read. So walk us through Saturday at Path Valley.
Well, for some people that don't know, for Path, we do draw for heats and then handicap for feature starting position. Started second in the heat race, ended up winning that. Track was like hammer down lightning fast. So when the track's like that, everybody's fast. And then in the feature, with how my points worked out and stuff, I had to start in 7th. At first, I kind of thought maybe I was going to be a little bit off because I was trying to get around some guys at the beginning and I couldn't really find any room or space to do so. But then once I got around the couple guys in front of me, it was just like sail around the top and just never look back. We had a caution or two, which allowed me to close things up a little bit with the guys, and then just started throwing sliders for positions in the lead, and yeah, ended up I think taking the lead with like 12 to go, at 12 or 13 to go, and then held on.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, you've had an amazing season. 18 races competed so far. Technically 19, but we still have a makeup feature to do. So of those 18 finish shows, you've had 14 top fives, 7 wins of the season, and even with you had a couple rough nights, and not great to mention it, but a couple, 1 or 2 DNFs. But even with that, a 4.7 average finishing position for this year. That's not bad. I mean, the 7 wins are definitely helping that.
Yeah, yeah. The couple bad nights we don't need to talk about that. It hurts a little bit, but especially the race at Bedford. I feel like at the Bedford when the motor blew up, I feel like I maybe could have had a car good enough to maybe win up there 2 weeks in a row. Um, but obviously the racing gods had other ideas for me that night. So Path at the beginning of the year, we had the one DNF, just was running the back and got into it with another guy and just pulled off. And then obviously Baps with the radiator hose blowing apart with the motor getting a little warm. Warm is an understatement, but yeah. So the DNFs aren't really that great to talk about, but it's racing, it happens. And like I said, the sport humbles you very very quickly.
Absolutely. And even looking at those couple of rough nights, it wasn't a driver error thing. It was just mechanical issues, and that's really out of the driver's control. I mean, you can dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and you're still going to have a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean the Path Valley race at the beginning of the year was a little bit of me. Didn't really set us up too good for the feature. Well, I think the heat race I started like in the back with bad pill drawing, didn't move forward. And then like I said, I just overdrove, spun myself out, getting contact with another guy. But yeah, the Bedford and Bap shows. I mean, that's just you're just driving the car and stuff just doesn't want to stay together. Baps, I probably could have prevented a little bit. I could have probably just pulled in when I saw it was running so hot. It wasn't even running for the win, but at the same time, you kind of like for me, like my goal this year is to win the tour championship. I finished second last year and my first year in the series, and I would like to finally just get it over and done with. So like that's in the back of your mind. You don't want to lose all that ground, but then in turn lost all that ground and a motor. So could have lost all the ground and not the motor and still been okay. But you live and you learn. And next time I will know to if it gets that hot to just pull in and deal with it, I guess.
Can understand that. And talking about the tour, you guys just got off of Friday night. Fossil Fuels 35 up at Big Diamond. Had a top 5 there, finishing 4th for the night. So, looking at the tour points, I mean, you're right there. I mean, literally right there. You are 2 points away from Steve Wilbur. And you got 3 wins on the season for the tour. He's got 2. And honestly, again, not bringing up those bad nights, but there's probably where the difference would be because he's finished pretty much in the top 5, pretty much every race in the tour, and you've had those two little hiccups. So to be only 2 points behind Steve with having those 2 rough nights, I say that's definitely a credit to what you're doing this season.
Yeah, I know we had the point lead in the tour prior to Bedford, and then obviously coming out of Bedford, not uh finishing with the motor blowing up. That dropped me below. I think after Bedford, I think I was like 12 points behind him. So we caught up pretty good since then, which just need to keep doing that and hopefully be to the end. Like Path Valley, I mean, I know we caught back up a little bit too up there, and I know Craig is going to miss a show, and I don't know if Steve will or not, but yeah, both are in reach to do both of them. I don't think the BAPS points, the Racing for Outreach, is very much in reach after the first completed feature, but if I care more about doing the tour stuff than anything else. I think that if it shows if you can do good at multiple tracks and be consistent at multiple tracks, I think that shows a little bit of your capability and I guess overall team performance and driver performance. So yeah, I care more about that than anything.
And it's pretty much just using you and Steve, bidding for this deal because Craig's 86 points back. And for those who don't understand the point give out for the wingless deal, starts at 30, drops 2 points to about 20, actually to 18. Once you get to 18 points, which I believe is position 20, no, 10, I think. And then it goes 1 point the rest of the way down. So, 1 or 2 races out of the loop gets you way out of the loop. So
Yep.
Craig being 86 points behind, pretty much impossible. He's going to catch you guys the rest of the season because there's just not that many races left. So it's pretty much you and Steve to finish out that title.
Yeah, that kind of helps when you run every tour race. I know a couple guys haven't, they've missed a couple or haven't ran all of them. So they're definitely running all of them helps. And I, continue to still plan to run all of them. So as long as nothing happens, God forbid. Uh, but yeah, so I definitely think it's just going to be me and Steve for the rest of the way battling it out.
Yeah, and actually looking at the tour points, I only have the top 10 here in front of me, but I think the only 2 guys that have ran every tour race has been you and Steve. I think that's been it. Okay, Craig's 3rd, but he's missed 4 shows. Brandon Shears 4th currently, but he's missed 2. And Brett Periga rounds out the top 5, and he's missed 4 also. So it's just been you guys, you two guys that have ran every show at for the Tour Series, and even for Path Valley points, a little bit tighter. But there's only been 6 drivers that ran every show up there also, and you're in the bid for that one too. You got Perigo obviously heading up that deal. Steve 7 points out. You're 11 points out, and Eric Walker's not quite far back, but 31 points. Going to be a little bit harder for Eric to make up some traction. But you being 11 points there with Steve and Perigo, I mean, you got a shot at that one too this year, and you still got a couple more races.
Yeah, and especially with Craig, he said on the show, I don't know however long ago, but that he's gonna miss a week because of his daughter getting married. So, I before this past weekend, I think I was like damn near 30 points behind Craig, and then Craig got involved in an incident on Saturday and ended up finishing towards the back. So that kind of closed me and Steve in. So yeah, I think as long as, like I said, nothing happens and we keep running up there and keep finishing good and running up front, and with Craig missing a week, I think there's obviously a good shot of doing both, which I think that would be pretty cool. Just to add to that'd be like the cherry on top to add for the year. But like I said, I care more about the tour stuff, and that's the goals now. Is like I've already surpassed the goals of how many races I wanted to win. I want to win the tour points, and like I said, if we win the path one too, that's the cherry on top. So we'll see. Hopefully it all works out. In a perfect world, it will, but it's racing, so we all know what that's like.
Absolutely. Well, I got faith in you, brother. Yeah, you'd be my pick. So you guys are off this weekend, but for shits and giggles, we got kids' night at Bass Motor Speedway of the Wing Series this weekend. Got a pretty good crowd of guys that are going to be there this weekend. I think Luke's going to be running. I believe Steve's going to be running, and a couple other oddballs. Not oddballs, but a couple different cars that don't normally run with us. I seen Roy Deacon, if I said his last name right. He's going to be running, hopefully putting the wing on this weekend to run. So should be a pretty good field. Just for shits and giggles, who you pick?
I said on my last time on here, Matt on deck until he wins. he needs to get one. Either him or Troy. Troy Rome needs to get one too. I'm hoping maybe after them having, Alex run for them up at Big Diamond, maybe that like gave him some feedback or whatever, because I mean it's Alex Bright, you know what I mean? So maybe that gave him some things to do differently and things to try and some feedback on the car, and hopefully that. So if I had to pick 2 guys, that's who I want, Matt and Troy.
Sounds like a good pick. You gonna come out Saturday? I mean, I know you guys ain't racing.
I will not be around. That is why we're doing the pre-recorded video. I will not be around.
Absolutely. Well, I had to try. What the hell?
Yeah, that's all good.
Well, Trent, appreciate you stopping in, get a little interview with you, and awesome season so far. Like I said, 7 wins in the season. Top 5 average, under top 5 average for the year. I mean, that's definitely looking to be a stellar end of the year, and it's coming quick.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, it's not what Kenny's going for, the perfect season, but the funny story about that, a guy asked me at work, Chris, the guy that's been coming and helping us crew here lately, he said to me, he's like, joking around, he's like, "Are you going to go undefeated next year?" I'm like, "Dude, you're asking an absolute fantasy world question." And I said, "I don't think at any form of racing at any time has anyone ever done that. Now, I mean, that'd be unreal, but I honestly don't see how that's at all possible. But I guess crazier things have happened."
Well, I'm sure Kenny probably doesn't think he's had a perfect year. I mean, he's had first and second finishes, but he also has I'm staring at right now, a 7th at Bedford, and I'm sure he's not happy with that 7th. So
is that his only out of top 2 finish?
Correct. Yep, he's first and second all year, other than that one race.
He's okay.
Well,
he's okay.
For me, for you, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal season. But I'm sure that's not the perfect season that he wants.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was hoping for maybe a top 2 or 3 for the entire year. Unfortunately, Bedford wasn't really what good to him that night.
Yeah. Hell, I wish I could take my couple DNFs back and a couple of the finishes that I got back and move up a spot or two. But no, I mean that's pretty crazy. I mean, I know he talks to me every now and again, tells me to keep kicking ass. So hopefully he does the same thing.
Well, I'm sure he will. I said that the whole Aiken family straight to the floor.
Yep.
That's how they
They're wheel
work it.
boys. They're
Absolutely.
wheelmen for sure.
Well, Trent, we appreciate you sticking around here and talking to us this week. And like I said, 7 wins of the season, brother. Keep trucking.
And that's the plan. We'll see if we can add maybe 8 and 9 next week.
Absolutely. I love it. And thanks for everybody tuning in. Hopefully, I'll get this posted yet tonight. This is actually Wednesday evening when we're doing this. I'll try to get this posted yet tonight. If not, maybe early on Thursday. So, till next time, guys.